Hello. I think I think this is working. Okay. Probably. I think it's working. Yeah. I think it's working. Hello. Solar Loon here, and welcome to another stream, another Solar Loon stream. This one, the product or the topic is produce. Basically, the idea that I had is something a little bit different. So let me, I guess, back up. Hi, I'm Solar Loon. I'm an independent game developer. I make games, I make programs, I do stuff. This is my YouTube channel. I make games here. This is a stream, and it's a little bit different because what we're going to be doing today is kind of focusing on the process of production, on creating things. I usually do these streams, and they're kind of, they kind of just muddle around. I get some stuff done, but it's not really that hard hitting, and I feel like I found a way to basically keep my mind on track off streams, and I'm going to try it here on a stream as well, and we'll see how it goes. Hence, the topic is produce for this stream. Production, creation, bearing fruit, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so hello everybody. Sorry for starting this stream late. Very sorry because something came up. It was good news, but yeah, something came up that was kind of pressing that I had to check out and comprehend. Aspiring Ape says his Joy-Con started drifting. That's unfortunate. Also, everyone's saying hello. Hello. Thank you very much and welcome. So what we're going to do today is something a little bit different. First things first, let's get some music going and let's get started. Let me actually, you don't have to just look at my mug. Excellent. Okay. So what we're going to do here is something a little bit different. And I'm going to try to show it as well briefly, essentially. But basically, something that I struggled with when it came to working is keeping my mind on track, keeping my mind focused and continuously working. Sometimes it's really easy to work and just stay focused and get a lot done. And other times I, get distracted and just watch, internet videos or check Twitter or whatever, and that can take a long time, or I just play games or whatever. And so what I started doing is using Masterplan, the product I made. It doesn't have to be Masterplan specifically, but just using something to time myself, to create a timer, and then basically kind of using that to keep on track. So we'll basically be using that same concept and seeing about kind of staying on track when it comes to streaming and producing things on stream or off. We'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and grab some music here. This should be fine, I think. Yeah. Might be a little loud. Testing it. I should have started from the low end. Sorry about that. Alright, that should be good. I think that should be good. Maybe a little bit lower. That probably is better. Okay. Okay, good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Masterplan on another monitor for myself. I think it should be here. There we go. Okay. So over here, this is Masterplan. And so what I did was create a variety of different tasks, a variety of different timers actually. I'm going to be using this specifically for keeping track of like what we're going to be working on and kind of keep my mind on track. Aspiring says, bought a copy of Masterplan earlier, looking forward to using it in my workflow. Excellent. Thank you very much for purchasing it. I really do appreciate it, and it's wonderful to see people using it. I think currently I'm sitting on like 4.8 out of 5 on itch.io, which is pretty great. And I think that's only because one review rated it poorly, specifically because it doesn't have the Cyrillic alphabet, which is a completely valid complaint, and that's something I need to work on. It's basically adding other alphabets and other language support. It's basically just Latin currently, although it does support oh, it's screen tearing. Let me fix that. Hold on. Oh no, it's okay. Apologies. is. I always forget about this. There we go. Exotic says music is a little bit too loud or your voice is too quiet. Okay, I'll try to fix those. Music down, voice up. All right, let's see if that is a little bit better. Let me actually. Oh, that's yeah. The gain was a little bit low on my microphone as well, and the volume was down. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Music could be a tad bit quieter. Okay, let's kick it down. Maybe around there. -30. Sounds better my side now. Exotic. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's start. It says, why did you use RayLibGo instead of Ebiton? I wanted something that was a little bit easier to work with in terms of the API. RayLib is very straightforward. Ebiton's a little bit more kind of roundabout. I would say Ebiton is probably more so created for games, whereas RayLib is made for just applications. So you have stuff like drawing rectangles, drawing lines, drawing circles in RayLib. In Ebiton, there's not really anything like that. It's fast enough for like drawing sprites and tiles and things like that to make games, or drawing text, but there's no real functions to like draw a line from point A to point B or draw a filled rectangle or things like that. And so I thought RayLib would be better to focus on, or to work for this particular. RayLib would be better to use for this particular application, but I do recommend both. So if you want to target iOS and Android, then Ebiton is what you would probably go for. If you wanted to hit, you wanted kind of a simpler workflow, then you might be good with RayLibGo. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna work on master plan today. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I thought so. This isn't working, I'm not sure why. This is a new keyboard that I got. Oops. A new keyboard, and it's not I just bumped the mic, I'm sorry. It's not bad, it's not a bad keyboard, it's a pretty cool keyboard, but it's small. It's hard for me to do this because the cord is... Let me just unplug it, hold on. There we go. So it's a, what is this? A Keychron K6. So it's like a short, kind of a small, short keyboard. Like 60% I think it is. So it's got the arrow keys, it's got, the QWERTY, it's got the keys and everything, which is cool, but it doesn't have all of the keys, which is not a problem, but it seems like the function keys aren't working anymore. Like, they were working earlier, but now they're not. I'm not sure if there's something I need to do. I might have pressed a key or something that did this. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's doing... Yeah, it's just straight up, it's not inputting the right function key. I'm not sure why. I have to look into it. Anyway. Let's see. Zyadic says he might have found a bug, which is that basically an image is referenced. If an image is referenced in master plan, which uses an extension in uppercase, it adds an additional file extension in lowercase. Really? Okay, well, we'll definitely work on that. Yeah, so let's get started on a couple of things then. Okay, so yeah, that definitely should be working. It's not. Okay, I'll have to investigate why the function keys aren't working. So we're gonna start the timer and get kind of cracking, and we're gonna investigate that bug that Zyadic mentioned. I'm giving myself 45 minutes. Okay, we'll just keep that running on the side. Okay, I almost forgot to switch back to the screen. All right, so what I was working on is automatic backups for master plan previously, and I got them pretty much working correctly, as I recall. Basically, you can go ahead and go to settings and turn on backup save every so many minutes, and then for example, every minute, it will go ahead and make a backup save, and it'll keep a maximum of so many backups. This should really, yeah, this should not be able to go below 1. But basically, this would allow you to say, for example, oh, keep 3 backups, so that if something happens where, you know, your master plan crashes, because it can crash, it does crash, very rarely, but it does happen, and you didn't save, the backup save feature would have saved, let's say, you know, a minute ago or 15 minutes ago or something like that maximum. So you can have some, what's the word? You can have some peace of mind with knowing that basically your stuff's not really going to get lost. It would be able to be saved. Chuck Norris says, "Hey, Solar Loon, new to the stream. Wanted to say that I love Master Plan." Thank you. Excellent. Glad to hear that. Always a pleasure again to have people using the program, and a fan. There we go. Backup successful. And now we see it's got a new file that it creates in the same location as the source file. So master.plan. Now we have master.plan_back, and then we have the date and the time. And so that's good, because that allows us to easily visually see, or allows the user to easily visually see, for example, a more up-to-date backup, where it's like, oh yeah, it's from, you know, yesterday, it's from, you know, 302, whatever the case is. So that's good. That's working really well. Let me do a quick test real quick, which is... Anxiety says, this bug only occurs if you load an existing project. Okay, I'll try check that out as well. Thank you. Thank you for the report. Let's do this. Let me try loading a different project in a different location, because I want to make sure that this works properly before I commit it. Do I have any other plans anywhere? Here we go. This is... Oh, this is... Let me create a new plan entirely. Oh. Okay, so I found another bug. So we're saying test, but when we press OK, it just creates a master.plan. That's unacceptable. So let's fix that. Alright, so we got save as, right? So we, yeah, save path. Save path. File a path argument. Okay, that's right, save. Okay. Save project as. Actually, let me remove these. I always get these confused. Alright, there we go. Oh, I saved it in master plan. I want to try a different folder so that if it isn't saving correctly, we can tell. There we go. Okay, so here's the master plan directory. We don't want to save it here. Yeah. Alright, let's see. So we got a master plan schedule. Okay, we're approaching 5 minutes. Alright, so let's try this. We're going to save this here. Okay, no, it did save with the correct name. I must have just noticed that there was a different file called something else. Let me see something real quick. If we save this again as... Why is it always... Well... That's probably just because this is the directory it's loading from. This is the working directory. I guess that's why. That's fine. So let's try this. Test.pla. Okay, so it adds .plan. That's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, so let's so I deleted the file, so there is no plan here. This still thinks the plan is there though, so if we go ahead and turn on backups, then we wait a minute, this will be roughly the end of the 7th minute of 3 o'clock. Okay, so the backup should create. Let's actually give it something to store. Okay, so it should basically store this over here when the backup goes through. So I'll just put this over here on this side. It doesn't have to. We don't really have to pay attention to it. Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're approaching. I said it. We don't have to pay attention to it, but then immediately I'm bringing it back. Because it's like, we do need to actually pay attention to it. Alright, so the backup is there. And the entire backup is named. Okay, good. Alright, so that's working. Good, good, good. Oh, that's what I was going to do. So let's go back to this, where we create the spinners. Automatic backup. Keep count dot minimum equals 0 equals 1, because you can't do a backup. It doesn't make sense to set the backup keep count, the maximum number of backup files for a project. It doesn't matter to set that to 0 with the function being on. So we'll just make it so that the minimum is 1. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Cool, so I think this should be good. This should be ready for prime time. Okay, so we go to settings. This can't go below. Yeah. Excellent. Backup save every. Yeah. I'm wondering if it makes sense to have 0 minutes be equal to off. Does that make sense to other people? Because otherwise I would have to have a checkbox where it's like backup save, automatic backup saves, check, and then these options become visible essentially of backup save every X minutes and keep X backups max. I'm not sure if I want to add that checkbox because it feels unnecessary. But I mean, if it's easier to comprehend, then it might be worth it to add it. I'll have to see. No, that's not clear enough for the user. Yeah, Exotic says make it so that it says off instead of 0. I do agree that that would be good. I'm thinking. I'm like literally thinking. Like my brain is not lagging. It's what's it called? Syncing. Like I'm thinking about it. I can make it so that the text says off if it's 0. But the reason why I'm pausing is because this is text. This actually is like actual text in here. It just only accepts numbers. So if I make it so that it says off, it won't be able to retrieve a number from it unless it defaults to 0, which is probably fine. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so this is a number spinner, which points to a text box. Set text 0, okay. Get number. So we say, I think this will default to 0 actually if it errors out. Let me say something. It might just automatically do it. Automatically work. Okay, so we're putting out the number. We want to go back to project. Yeah, okay. Here we go. I'm not used to this keyboard, apologies. Okay, so if project.automatic backup interval.get number is equal to 0, then we want to set the text box to be off. I guess off like that. That might work. Let's see how that goes. Hiro-san says, "Heyo, hello." Okay, so it actually does work, and I think it's because Go basically says if you can't convert text to a number, then it will return 0, I guess by default, or an error, and the error is going to be something if it does happen. So let's actually see this because I want to see if this is correct. Zadig says, looks nice. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so it's parsing off invalid syntax. It's not, that it can't turn this into a number, which is fine. So it's internally 0, even though it says off. So when we press plus, it just turns into a 1. But that doesn't make it so that, like, we can't have zeros anymore. Yeah, excellent, excellent. That works, that's good. So that we don't even have to do anything really with that to change that. There's no reason to add a comment like that because it's obvious. All right, we can do this though. Yeah, simplify it. Yeah. So the default is off, I believe. Keep X backups max 3. Maybe we could keep make it so that the default is 15 minutes. So if people want it off, they can just put 0. That might be good. We'll try that. Something I just noticed right there was basically it was hard to type 0 in there because if you type in 0 in the middle of off, it doesn't like recognize that. So what we're gonna do is probably something like this. So we can see if it changed and is now, there we go. If it changed and is now 0, then it turns to off. Yeah, it's not working. It's not working. Okay, let's see. Oh, I know. If it's not focused, let's try that. So that means that basically if it's 0 when we leave typing in there, then it should turn off. Yeah, so 23, 0, off. 1, 0, off. Go in here, yeah. Perfect. All right, that works pretty well. I think I might want to make it so that the keep count, keep X backups max might only appear if this is not off. That kind of lets you know the state of things. Also might be good to indent this. Keep X backups max. Let's see. How would I do that? Because the columns are done here. Element is equal to nil. I can make it so that it may be. Let's see. Because the settings column, actually that's a different file. The settings column basically contains a GUI element to display one of the settings options, and then also the order of entry. Well, it's a map between the names of the options, or I guess the text. Yeah, so it's basically, all right, let me go back and actually show what I'm talking about. So this is a settings column, and this is a settings column, and basically it allows us to put in settings in a list. We can rearrange them by going over here and changing the order of these options. So that's fine. So keep X backups max goes at the bottom of the first column. Now it'd be nice if I can make it so that, like, you could make it so that it depends on the automatic backup interval. The get number being greater than 0, something like that. It would have to be a func actually that returns a bool. It would have to be something like this. But that would make it so that this would only appear if this is enabled. Do I care about that? Because there's not really a way to, I mean, otherwise I'd have to add like this, like a conditional argument. That doesn't look too good. Especially for only this, it doesn't seem necessary. Yeah, let's not add stuff that's not necessary. This works, that's fine. And then we'll work on Zyiotic's bug report. Excellent. It'd be nice if there was a volume control. Yeah, we'll add that in the next, we'll add that as well. So we're on 17 minutes, roughly 18 minutes. Stage this stuff. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need that. Okay. One player says, "Hi Solar Luna, I enjoy your stuff a lot, even though I'm just a boring software engineer and don't know anything about game dev." Hi, thank you very much for stopping by. Always fun and interesting to have actual software engineers watching my videos and things like that, considering I've never actually been a software engineer. I've never been a commercial developer. I think I would like to be one, but making games is a lot of fun too. So if you or others were to give their perspective, I would appreciate it. You know, it's something else to have like professional developers versus just someone who does it for fun or learned on their own. You know. So yeah, this is shaping up. This is good. So this allows us to. I don't need to save. Okay. Back up. Yeah, okay. We already... Okay, never mind. Zyiotic says, "I'm a software engineer too, but I never touch Go." Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent indeed. Can't write file to system. Oh, okay. I think we're good. I think we're good on this. I'm just looking through everything to make sure this is working as it should. No? Aspiring Ape says, "Software engineer during the day, software developer during the day, so close, make games at night." Yeah, it's interesting. And one player says Go is pretty fun. I use it in place of Python. Yeah, I could see Go kind of being used in place of Python just because it's kind of a simple language in comparison. Although it's not as developed in terms of like, you know, having as many options and as many like structures and things like that, like classes and decorators and things like that. But it's still a pretty solid. Still a pretty solid language. False. Okay, I think I did everything correctly. Repositioning number spinner. I did something else, didn't I? Oh, okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So we're gonna commit this. Yeah, I think we're good. Something else I wanted to do that I haven't done yet is to redirect the log output, or really just std out to a file. So like basically, for those who either are watching on the stream or later who are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, when a program runs, what allows you to see the output in a terminal is called std out, standard out, or std error for errors, standard error output. So those are two streams that basically your program can write to that terminals can listen from, as far as I understand it, and basically like understand what you're, you know, when you're printing something from your program to your terminal. So, like, for example, if I were to do something like this, we'll just do something simple like this. Where's the update function? If rl.is key pressed rl key f equals var task, or var f task. Where's the, yeah, f dot org dot create new task. Okay, so what this is doing is basically making a variable called f, which is a reference to an object of type a pointer to a task, and it's calling create new task on the board associated with that task. But we don't create a task here, so this is going to make a null error, or I guess a nil error. Nil pointer error, I guess you could call it. It's, you know, something that's kind of common there. Invalid memory address or nil pointer dereference. So this is kind of a very standard crash. What we want to do is, if the user of our program is using the program, using master plan, and they happen upon a crash, it should output that to like log.txt, error.txt. It should output that somewhere, not just to a terminal, but to a file. That way, if someone has a problem or if it crashes unexpectedly, I can examine the file later. That's the core idea. Larissa says, Go is really fun to program with, really like it. Had to start using it at work. Once you get used to it, it's very simple. Yeah, it is. Not bad at all. And Hiro-san says, what do you have on master plan settings.json? Mainly program level settings. So for example, if the program should automatically load the last plan it loaded. So it basically, like, let's say you created a plan, you saved it, you left, you came back, you opened it. Then from that point forward, are you just going to keep opening the same plan by default? Which is, most people would want that on generally. And then also the recent plan list. So if you open, a plan for one project, a plan for a different project, etc., then it stores all that in a list that you can access on right click, which is this option here. Load recent, they are listed in this list going down. And then finally disable splash screen. If that's on, then it doesn't open up with the master plan splash. It just immediately starts loading the project. Someone requested that and it wasn't hard to add, so I was just like, all right, fine. Rashad Z says, yo, sup. Also, Noah S says, what up? What up, indeed. Aspiring says, studied Java at university and started working at a C# job straight after leaving. Never used Python, Go, etc., and only recently became interested in them. Understandable. Java is a pretty solid language, pretty complex, but it does do the job fine. So what we're going to try to do is... Well, I was thinking about maybe redirecting the log like this. I'm pretty sure there's a way to redirect it. Set output. That probably would do it. But the thing is, I'm not sure if this actually would do it. I'm not sure. Is this... What is log exactly? Now we're good. Simple logging package, type logger, predefined standard logger. Right. Let me do a quick check here because I need to go golang standard out, or I guess actually standard error. Okay, so it says got it. Standard in, out, and error are open files pointing to standard input, output, and error file descriptors. Okay, so we can just pass that. Alright, so we'll do that now, and we'll see how this works. Project. Yeah, so we're gonna go to main. We're gonna go over here, and we're gonna do this here. We're gonna say os.stdout equals open error.txt. Wait. There we go. It's got an error. Okay. Oh, that's right. OS dot. Okay, so F. And then we say os.std error equals F. Okay, so this should allow us to basically oh no, no such file or directory. Did I do this wrong? Let me see. Oh, create. That's what I'm looking for. Create. Yeah, alright, that should work. Okay, so this should basically allow us to create an error file. It did kind of work, but it also did not work. Let's see if we can kind of figure out why. Let's try standard out as well. Instead, rather. Neither one is working. Open files pointing to the standard. It writes to standard error for panics and crashes. So that's definitely what I'm thinking it is it not? Seek stat right at right. Sync here. Let me see here. Take a quick look. Multi-writer, let's see. Okay, let's do a test here, because it seems like it should work. Hirosam says, panic, is that a new term? No, that's a function that's been existing on Godot for a while. It basically is like forcing a crash, I guess you could say. One player says, what are you trying to achieve? What I'm trying to achieve is basically, if we have an error, or if we print anything out, really, it goes to a file. I thought that it should be as simple as creating a file pointer, either creating the file or opening a file, and then passing that file pointer to std error and std out. But it doesn't seem like it's actually doing anything, which is kind of weird. Like, I'm still getting stuff out here in the terminal, and the file is empty. It's not panicking, so we know that the file is being correctly opened. Why is it empty? Hirosam says, oh, so it's like a throw exception. Yeah, exactly. We got like 15 more minutes before we have to, not have to, but before we're going to move on. Let's see. And C is usually done using dupe2. Not sure how it's done in Go. Does the OS SCD error need to be before the panic? No, because it's not panicking. There's no problem with it opening or creating the file. It's just, is it not passing the file reference? Or maybe is it setting it somewhere else? Let's do a test. Okay, so test 1 prints to the terminal, but test 2 does not. So this is working, but at some point it's not. I think, is this? No, it's not redirecting. I don't think it is. All right, let's try this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna move this lower and see if that makes a difference. Doesn't seem to. Yeah, it's not. Let's go back for a second. The test 2 doesn't get written. We crash. Test 2 is written here. Okay, so this is working in terms of what this is doing. But it's not working for everything. Let's see. Okay, so it is, yeah, it is outputting that, but it's not outputting the crash result. Okay, let me do a check. Let's see. One player says, apparently io.multiwriter can do it, but you need to log a print to this new writer. I don't have a problem with logging and printing to it, but the crash is something that I have no control over where it's going to happen. Not really. So I should be able to redirect, yeah, std error and out to basically do what I'm thinking of. Let's see. Use syscall dupe2 to link the open file to the standard stream. Let's see, log.set output. Output, this output. Right. It's fine. Let's see. Bundi says master plan just crashed for me when I backspaced the first board's name. Welp, I can't produce. That's unfortunate. Let me take a quick look here. Yeah, master plan does crash for me as well. Well, not does. It did crash for me. But I can't. It doesn't always crash. All right. Well, that's. Yo. Oh, I pressed F. We'll have to investigate. Well, this is perfect though. This is perfect timing because, you know, if the program's gonna crash, which is gonna crash, I'm working on it. It's actively in a state of flux. That's why I added automatic backups. But if it's gonna crash, then we need to know why it's crashing. And in order for us to know that from the user's computer, we need to log it. So we definitely need to know how to do this. Capturing panic. Everyone seems to be looking to capture a panic. Which is like... The problem I have is not panicking. Let me kind of show. Whoops! Wow, that was something else. So this is something called panic. What is this? Panic parse, which it seems like it's basically something that runs on a panic. Which is like kind of fine. I mean, that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem I have is not so much... This is trying to get this to a file, which shouldn't be that hard. Is it that hard? Surely it's pretty simple. Okay, let's try this. Golang redirect panic. And is that what the... Is this called panic? Yeah, panic runtime error. Okay. So there's one way to capture std error. No. 2. But this is... If you panic, you should probably always recover to make sure you close the file. Okay. Let's go back. Let's do this first thing. Yeah, it's still logging. Well, that's... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah. So the log has its own thing, which is fine. So, like, log set output, we can, you know, just do that. Like, that's fine. So the log goes to the file. that's fine, but the crash still doesn't go to the file. Why doesn't the crash go to the file? That's the hardest, that's the most important thing. One player says, wait, Andy Gelb? Oh, actually it's a different letter, it's not B. He says, to capture a panic, use defer, func, recover. So recover can be used to allows the program to manage behavior of a panicking go routine. Okay, so I can dip if it panics. Okay, so I could do just defer. Recover. Or I guess I could just do defer end and just make a function called end, which recovers. And then after that we can do something else. But the problem isn't so much... hold on. Oh. Huh. Okay. So if we defer end, let's recover. Called recover inside a deferred function. Stops the panicking sequence by restoring normal execution and retrieves the error value passed to the call of panic. Hello, okay. So what if we do this? So we could just do defer func. Something like that, and then okay. It's so close. So runtime error, invalid memory address, or nil pointer dereference. That does tell us the problem, but it doesn't tell us where it is. It's closer, but still not quite there. Stops the panicking. If it's called outside of the deferred function, it will not stop a panicking sequence. Return, whether it's panicking. Okay. The problem is that panics are handled by the runtime, and it writes to file descriptor 2, which is stdr. The only way to have ftd2 output to a file is with syscall dup2. Let's see. Thanks for the description. I mean, like, there's just nothing here about this. Okay. Please tell me this is closed as they fixed it. Oh, this is something else. I thought this was Go. I mean, like native Go, like basic Go. It doesn't exist in ARM systems, doesn't exist on Darwin. Oh, our time just ran out. I'm gonna keep working on this, to be honest, because I'm right at the. It feels like I'm right at the tip of this. This void's hanging when it using. Change it to use syscall, not raw syscall. All right, let's do this. Bundy says that it only locks after you save the project. That's correct. That's the way it works. Because there's no way to lock the project without you saving it. Like that's just the way it is. In order for a project to be locked, the project needs to be saved. So you can turn on the lock, then you save it, then it's locked. You can't. There's no way to lock it without saving it, unless it automatically saved when you click the lock button, which is, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Runtime caller.1 in the defer function outputs the line. Really? This is bananas. I've never heard of this. Reports the file and line number information about function invocations in the call and go routine stack. 1. Okay, let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, I can't do that. Wait, why can't I do this? Oh, I see. Okay. Caller reports about the function. The argument skips the number of attack frames to ascend with 0 caller of caller. Whoops. Term values, program counter, file name, line number. Okay, that would be pretty useful then. Alright, so let's try this. Like you mentioned. So function line caller to. Okay. Actually, this should probably be logged. Okay, so panic 212 runtime error. What about 1? Panic 969. What about 3? I'm getting up there. I think I'm getting up there. Alright. This is kind of useful. Okay. So at the very least, we can tell at 687. Yeah, okay, there he is. So we know it's a runtime error, invalid memory address or nil pointer dereference at 687 of project.go. 687, which is this. That is good enough. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get something better. Huge thanks to you, Andy, for helping me out on that, because there's no way I would have figured this out. I don't think, like, the internet's just completely not telling me anything about this. This is bananas that no one has done this. I'm kind of just stunned that like nobody is like redirect SCD error runtime panic. Whoops. Yeah, so it's, wait. Here we go. So this is like the first time I've seen someone mention recover, which is kind of bananas considering how many times I saw people talking about panic. I'll save that. Well, this is great. Thank you again, Andy. This is exactly what I needed. So now, if there's a problem, if something crashes, actually I probably should rename this from error to log, but this should basically allow us to effectively log the program. Like, you know, the user should be able to determine, or the user should be able to use this information as necessary to basically forward it to me. I don't know why I'm saying it weird, because my mind is like not quite there, but basically this is working well. I want this to say probably something like that, and then like maybe like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. Trying to see what the format should be. Should we have an extra break, maybe? Maybe like, yeah. Kind of to set it apart. You don't need all that, maybe just like that. Yeah, well, that's fine. Because I want it to be where they can easily pass it on to me. Joshua Confidant says, "Suh, dude. Suh. How's it going?" Bundi says, about the locking, I guess that's a good point. I was expecting it to prevent me from saving, regardless of whether I saved my changes. Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but then if you reopen the project, you'd be able to edit the project. So the lock needs to save into the project. Like the fact that you're locking it needs to save. Because once you save the fact that it's locking, then it's locked. And now even if you reopen the project, you can't edit it unless you undo the lock, which is, you know, it's not that big of a, it's not that important, but this could easily extend to like passwords that are encrypted, which, you know, Masterplan being an open source program, it wouldn't be hard to unencrypt a password if you knew the cipher that Masterplan was dealing with, or the encryption. So, you know, it's not going to be super secure, but I mean, you would be able to, like, you know, if you have a journal or whatever, you could easily lock it down with the password, so that basically you wouldn't be able to save it, open it and edit it. It might also be good to lock it down with a different, oh yeah, maybe there would be another option to basically lock it and prevent it from being even opened without entering a password. So that might be good. Let's see. Okay, so this is good. This seems to be working. I think we're gonna try to reproduce it so that it looks like this, with a nice break between lines. So we want it, yeah, we want an extra line before, an extra line after, and then error twice. Okay, so we're gonna, we have the defer. So we want to log okay, then the function, or I guess actually this isn't the function, huh? It's the file. Okay. Oh, file. Okay. So file. We want an extra thing there. Can't convert to an integer? What? Yeah, these are just interfaces. Why is it thinking it's an integer? Alright, whatever. Let's just... I don't... Oh, because this is an integer. I was like, what in the world? Okay. Oh, that's not right. I need S2 I2A, and this needs to be we don't want it to be overly complex. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, so then we have this. And then we want to break. And then we want error. Oh, this is... We'll just get through that. That's fine. Alright, I think that should be good enough. So I realize I think that I could have done this a little bit differently. Yeah, it's good enough. I think I could probably do like this. Does it support... Does it support this? No, it doesn't. Okay. I forget if this is the correct literal. I think that's right. Yeah, okay. So I think we can probably do like this. Oh. No, wait. Yeah, this should work, I think. Well, I guess we'll just do like this. Because then we can just kind of simplify this. Oh, well then I don't need, yeah, I don't need literals. I can just do a new line like that. Apologies again, my keyboard is... I'm so not used to it, man. It's so weird. Okay, so this... Oh, okay, that should be it. Yeah. Okay. So there's the error. There's the file, there's the... Okay, this is good enough. Wait, I never recovered. Oh, it's recovering there. Okay. Now, if I just quit, it will similarly, yeah, say error nil. So what we want to do is basically probably get the output. Panic out is recover. And then we say if panic out is like nil. There we go. So this lets us know that basically we quit normally. If I press F and then it crashes like so, then we get the error. Okay, good. Now the next thing I want to do is, there was something I wanted to do, hold on. Oh, we want to do this only if we're in runtime mode, like if this is an exported build, if you're running it from the executable and not from like a temporary directory. So I already seem to have figured this out by means of, where is it at? This, basically if the path to the executable contains go build, then it's a temporary folder that Go created to build the project, and so this basically indicates that it's a temporary. This isn't a permanent or a yeah, this isn't a permanent application that we're running with. This is basically us running out of a terminal, out of the source code. So we should be good to make a function that basically tells us if it's release mode. Okay, so then it should be as simple as just like I don't know how much I want to like simplifies things. Bundi says, master plan apparently closes if you cancel the open file dialog. Does it? If you cancel the open file dialog, it shouldn't do that. Yeah, it doesn't do it. It might be you might have to wait for that report because I changed the framework that I'm using for opening files. It used to use what is called DLGS dialogues on GitHub. Now it's using Zinity on GitHub, so it's a different framework or a different, what's the word? Basically a different person's repository. It does the same kinds of things, and it might do them kind of similarly, but it might not crash for you moving forward just because I changed some things. So I don't know if, you know, basically, well, let me ask, Boone, if it closes when you cancel the open file dialog, does it happen reliably, or is it just like it just happened? Actually, I might have fixed that, because I remember that there was an issue someone else reported where if the file doesn't exist when master plan is loading, it crashes. I fixed that bug, and it was basically, yeah, every time. Okay, it might have been that bug as well, because basically the problem was whenever master plan started up, it would try to open the last loaded file, and if that file doesn't exist, master plan would crash. I think it might have been something similar where that I just, you know, might have fixed, where we go to load project, and if you press cancel, it doesn't have anything to load, but master plan might try to load it anyway and crash. Let me actually see it, and we might be able to see it if we check the source code. Commit it behind. What can it say? Oh, I have to push. Yeah, let's see. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. This was always going. Yeah. Okay. So this is exactly what you were referring to, Boone. And yeah, Aspiring Ape says happened to me too on Mac with the version from Itch. Yeah, this was fixed. So sorry about that, and thank you for your patience on that. But this is what the function used to do. It would basically open the dialog that says load the plan file, that's not worded very well, but it would do that. And if it succeeded, if it opened the dialog and you selected a file, then it would basically try to load the project. If it didn't work, it returns nil, which, you know, conceptually that seems fine. But further down, where I actually call it, that function, I'm setting the current project to that loaded project. So if you go to load and you cancel, it will just set the current project to nothing, and then the program ends. Like, it just dies. So that was stupid, and I fixed it. Sorry about that. So I probably will push out a new build maybe today, since that's kind of a crushing, unnecessary, killing bug. Like, it's easy for me to just push out a new build with the fixes. So I might just make this like 0.3.2 or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so this seems to work. No, that's what I was doing. So back in common, there we go. So we want to basically know if it's in release mode, which is basically this snippet here, where we just return strings.contain. This is fine for us for now, I think. Bonk. That's fine, we don't need that. So that should basically let us know if we're running in release mode, and that would be good because we could just say if release mode and panic out. And then similarly up here, if release mode. There. So what this will then do is basically say if we're not running in release mode, we can push stuff to the terminal. It's not working, but that's the idea. It's not working, but that's the idea. I need this. If it doesn't contain go build, then it's the release mode. Otherwise, it's not. This isn't ideal. Ideally, I would have something that gets set. I guess I should actually do this right then. Yeah. So I need a environment variable, like a flag, that determines whether it's being run in release mode or not. And I can just examine that because it's possible that the person has go-build somewhere in their directory tree that runs masterplan. It's not impossible. And it would, like, it's possible enough where I don't want to spend 20 hours debugging this, trying to figure out why the log doesn't appear for them, because they're in like C program files, Go projects, Go build, master plan, and it's like, why are you running it from there? Why are you doing this to me? Okay, so let's actually get this working. So I think we want to make a flag here. I guess ideally, I guess what I want to do is make a build flag. Because there's no way for me to know just from the... well, let me check something real quick. I'm searching, but I'm not finding the answer that quickly. It's not... Yeah, let's do this. Because we have our build script. Maybe it would be better. Boondy says, would you consider UpBGE to be a viable alternative to Godot? Well, I don't think I would consider it. Well, I mean, like, I think I wouldn't say it's an alternative to Godot. Bundy says, I don't know how much it differs from the BGE. So, like, the BGE, at the time that it was discontinued, and then they forked it off to become UpBGE. Basically, it's a GPL 3D game engine integrated with Blender. I believe UpBGE has kept with that, and I don't think they've added any ports, or I don't think they've added any ports to like Android or iOS or something like that. So if you are only targeting Windows, Mac, and Linux, UpBGE might be fine. Otherwise, you probably want to go with Godot or Default. They recently added Switch support. I think you have to pay for it, but it's an option if you want to put your game on the Switch and you're making a 2D game, or you're just familiar with Default and want to do 3D. Then I think they added Switch support to Default. I know some people, or there was a Godot game that got released on the Switch not too long ago, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That was kind of like a big deal. So it's not impossible if you use Godot to target the Switch, but I know Default specifically like added that just recently. So I would consider UpBGE to be an alternative if you're not targeting any of the things that Godot targets, apart from just desktop computer. Then it's like, yeah, it probably would be fine. I probably would even prefer something like the BGE because it was so easy to work with. It was so like the friction of development with the BGE was like, it was like nothing. It was like butter because it was so integrated directly with the editor, so it was just so smooth. What you saw is what you get. It was something special. But since they moved over to Eevee, and now, you know, in order for that to work the same, it has to have more graphical firepower. It has to be kind of a heavier engine. It's not quite as smooth, but like the benefits were so great of just being able to be like, press P. There's my game, it's running, you know. That was something else. Okay, so we have a build script. I'm thinking that we could provide an argument, but I'm not certain if that argument would pass through to the build. Let me see. That's probably a stupid question, but I genuinely am not sure. Build constraints. Let me try this. Golang build arguments. Build time variables. Okay, this is someone's blog. Capture useful variables. Okay. So we could use LD flags to basically push it directly. Is there a better way to do this? Because I don't want to use LD flags. Is there like a simpler way? If it's not, that's fine. It's just, is that the right way to do it? Args, yeah, that's runtime arguments. We're looking for build time or compile time arguments. LD flags. Alright, so it seems like LD flags is just what you do. Yeah, so I think we were using LD flags already, I just didn't want to use them if possible. But we're using it here for Windows. Oh, we're only using it on Windows, so I would have to use it on like Linux as well. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is make, and that's, why do I have so many, why do I have this? Okay, x main.who, so main.who, that refers to here, so this main.who, main, oh, main package, is that how it works? Okay, so what we're gonna do is make a variable, and that will just be basically release mode. Because it can be a constant, right? Because it's compile time. So we'll just, why is this happening? Constant release mode is false. We'll go back to common. We don't need a release mode function because we can actually tell if it's release mode or not. Over here we don't, again, we can just tell if it's release mode. Release mode. If not release mode, then go with the working directory. Okay, so I think this should work. Now when we go to build, we have to actually change this to add this -x. Okay. Main.release mode equals true. Alright, so that should basically work. I don't think we alter args anywhere else. So this is the build function. Add stuff for Mac. Modify. Okay, so I think this should be it. So now if we go run. Okay, that's working. All the assets are found. We're good. Whoops. Now what I want to see there we go. What I want to see is if this works as expected. So we're gonna build it. Assets copied, building binary, build complete. Okay, so we got bin here. We run master plan. Interesting. So I think what's not working is that the working directory is for somehow neither here. Yeah, I think it's not working because it's not. Whoops. We're not getting the path correctly. Let's go back to main. And we're gonna try this. Get path. So that should be correct. Mode false. Okay. Log with this. Okay. All right, good. Okay. So if release mode, then we probably want to do this. Because it didn't put the error down here. Okay. There we go. So that's working correctly. Then if we go ahead and build this. Okay, build complete. Then we go over here and run this. Why is this? Is this not in release mode? Is it not in release mode? Let's see. Main.release mode is true. Main.release mode. Maybe because it's a const? I figured that it would be able to do that. Maybe not. Let's try this. Can't set up type string type pool. Okay, so it does need to be. Okay, so release mode. Variable. How do you? LD flags Golang -x. Okay, so it looks like they have to be strings. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Lucretia says, "What's up, Solar? What are you up to?" Hello, I am in the middle of working on master plan. I started out with the idea that I was going to work on like a specific thing for a specific amount of time, and then I got sidetracked trying to not leave it in a level of disarray. So now I've been working on master plan for an hour and a half. Okay, so I think we're good. Release mode, false. I wish this, why isn't this able to be Boolean? Yeah, okay, this is fine. So release mode is false if release mode is true. If it's true, release mode is, we'll just do it like this, false.
Alright. So Lucretius, in answer to your question, because I don't think I actually did answer it, basically I'm building in the ability, for master plan to redirect crashes and things to a log file. That way people can send me their logs if something happens. So I'm gonna actually comment that. Okay, so it's building the binary, building complete. What? That was weird. Okay. It's not working. Why isn't it working? Project 687. So it's panicking if release mode is true. Release mode true. Okay, let's do this. false. Why is it false? Main dot. Oh, psh, my bad. I'm an idiot. Okay, that's why I did it wrong. There we go. Okay, now it should work. The creature says, nice, looks cool. Thanks. Yeah, the idea is that this won't work. The idea is that basically by doing this, there we go. Now we got a log file. There's nothing in here. It says true because we're printing it out. Okay, so if we force a crash, I'm pressing the F key to force a crash. Then we go back to log, and it should say, yeah, error. There's the file. Does it? Well, yeah, there's the file, there's the line, and then there's the error. So that's fine. What I want to do real quick is just to... I mean, it couldn't possibly be what I think it is, but I just want to double check. If we put this somewhere else, it's not going to point... It's going to point to my directory, right? Like, it's going to... Okay, yeah, so it's always going to point here. That's fine. I mean... It'd be good if it pointed to maybe like masterplan/project.go. But I mean, if it just points to my home directory, I guess that's fine. I don't know. Maybe someone in chat knows. Is it like, is there a reason not to tell people your computer? No, there's no way. This is the equivalent of like C program files. My documents, or see my documents, or documents and settings, projects. Yeah, that's fine. I think it'd be fine. Okay, so this does work. We don't need to add more code to like strip out the line or anything. If someone sends me this, I'll be able to go and point to project.go, and then point to line 687 and figure out, okay, this is where the crash is happening. It might be better if I could propagate, if I got some context. So maybe I could do something like... this. And then... this. Or I guess like this, actually. That might be good, because that way I could kind of see like where it's happening. Let's try that. See if that gives us a little bit of a better result. We can remove this. Delete permanently. We don't need this anymore. Alright, crash. Okay, so yeah. So we really only need the line, we don't need the error anymore. So that gives us a little bit more information, or it gives me a little bit more information about like why the crash is happening, which can be really important. So proc main 160. So if I 160, which is here, so it's the update, and then project 687, which is here. That tells me where roughly to define the problem. So that's good. That's good enough. Let's test it a little bit further. Let's say I was in the task, and then let's say I was in like the GIF animation, because that goes in the task. And I was in the update function here and did that. Then it should basically show GIF animation, it should show task, and it should show project, so I could kind of pin it down a little bit better. We don't need this anymore. So crunch. Oh, it's because there's no GIF. All right, let me get a GIF in here. I don't know if I have a GIF. I think I must in my projects. Let's see. Ugh. This isn't working. This is something else that got broken apparently. Let me see. Dot file. Let's do this. Wait, that should actually work. Let me see. Filter patterns for the display string. I think, yeah, this is something I'll just take out. Yeah, I think I know what's going on there, and I'll have to investigate that another time. And it's almost already been 2 hours. I did not mean to work on this for too long. But sometimes sometimes you get sidetracked. It's okay. It's okay to get sidetracked. Okay. So all right. So loaded. This is a massive GIF. And then we press F to crunch it. Okay, there we go. Log tells me, yeah, exactly. So in the project, in the task, in the GIF animation is right there. All right, so I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. What I'm gonna do real quick, I just want to test something, and that is what happens if we call, like, go super far back. What? What the heck? Okay. Okay, so it's just nothing. There's nothing there. Okay, so then I guess we can actually do like a proper thing by like we could do a proper call stack here by basically just propagating up from 4, or I guess really from 0 up until we reach a point where this is nil, or I guess this is 0. Because here this is 0. It returns. Maybe we could check this uint pointer string. Okay, bull. Okay. If it was not possible to recover the information. Okay. So I'm gonna do this the proper way and say for, well, let's do this like this. Stack over equals false for So I guess stack continue. That would probably be better. And so we're gonna do this. We're gonna print out first this, then this, oops, and then we want to print out that, and we want this to be here. Okay. I equals 0. I plus equal 1. And then this should be I. Okay, let's try that. And this could be plus plus. Print F. Alright, I think we're... I guess... That work? Okay. I think that should do it. I think that should basically be it. Alright, so blah 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 F. Okay. Reload. Didn't do anything. Didn't do a thing. Stack continue. Pardon me. Alright, I think this might be better. Let's see how this goes. And now it's doing... Wait, what? Yeah, there's nothing here. Let's see. The operand found... Oh. Alright, let's see here. So... Panic out. Maybe we'll just do it like this. No, because I don't know where it's gonna actually end up. This should work. Oh, I'm stupid. Let's see. Bundy says, "Does anyone know how to reference a neighboring vertex in the Godot shader language? I'm trying to calculate normals." Not quite. Oh, it's... Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. There we go. Okay, so main... Okay, so let's try that. So then it should be... Main got 118. Oh, I changed something. Hold on. I think this is working now. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that, Bundy. It's a good question because... Let me spend some brain power on this real quick. Okay, let's see here. So in 3D, we're looking for shading. I thought there was something that kind of walked through all of the... Oh, shading reference. Here we go. Spatial shaders. Shading language might do the trick. Yeah, it should be probably the spatial shaders. I'm assuming this is for 3D. It might be 2D actually. The section shading language. Yeah. Oh, in here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can actually, because each... Maybe, let's see, if so, there would be a function to do so, I think. Because the way that shaders usually work... Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. The way that shaders usually work is that basically the vertex data gets passed in, I believe, to the fragment shader. Like, you can pass that in, but I don't think there's a way to get at different vertexes information, normally. You might be able to do so by passing in an array. That might be the best course of action, you know, from something that I'm just thinking about. If you don't have, if you're not able to do so otherwise, you might be able to pass in an array of the vertex positions. It feels like it might be wasteful though. Bundy says before the vertex section. Yeah, you should be able to pass in an array, right? Of, I mean, as an alternative, if there's no other way to do it, which I don't think there is. You might be able to pass in an array as a uniform, as basically uniform data. You could pass in an array of the vertex positions and then calculate the normals that way. Because yeah, varyings work to share data from the vertex to the fragment processor, but I don't think it goes the other way, or basically passing information from vertex to vertex. I don't think it works that way. Let's see here. Okay, so I think we're basically done. My energy is running low. But I think it's working pretty well too. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we can see... Made that go 118. Made it go 68. Okay, so that's... yeah. So I guess we don't really need to know that. We could just start from here. That's fine. Bundy says, how would I actually get the vertices? I don't know of any place I can get that in the engine. In the engine, you can get that by going to the spatial mesh, probably. Like, there should be a way to basically get the... the spatial should have a reference... Well, it depends on what it is, because it might be that you're working with, like, a node that contains your mesh, or it might be that you're working with the mesh itself. But basically, there should be a way to get the vertices for each vertex on the mesh. Yeah, I'm not sure what object you're working with. Let's see. I think this might be it. Is it I4? Going back. I think so. I'd like if it went in the opposite direction, but that's fine. Just a procedural mesh, cube mesh. What object is that though? Like what's the name of the object in Godot? Like name of the object type. Like is it it's not a spatial, but I mean like what is it like spatial? It's a mesh instance. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. And I would probably check it out, you know, ask on the forums or ask on the Reddit subreddit to be sure, because it feels like there might be a better way to do it, but this is an idea. This is an approach to do so. So here you have the mesh, well, the mesh instance, that's what you're working with. And it's a node that takes a mesh resource and adds it to the current scenario by creating an instance of it. Right, so I assume that you're probably making something like a tree. That's why you're trying to modify the normals of it. So you would get the mesh, and then from the mesh, they should be... Let's see. Yeah, it probably would be this, get faces. Yeah, this, you might be able to use this. Surface get arrays. So basically this would give you, for an index that you pass in, it would give you the array for the vertices, normals, UVs, etc. in that order probably. And then for the surface index, you would basically iterate over get surface count. So you would loop through all the surfaces and get all the arrays, and then basically grab the first three for each triangle. These, it says get the arrays for the information that makes up the requested surface, but it probably is going to be a triangle. I doubt it would be a quad. It's probably going to be triangles, and so that's kind of it. It's possible that an array mesh gives you an array of vertices. Yeah, that's possible. I'm not sure, just 100%. That's just what I would kind of start with if I was in your position there. Alright, so I think this should be good. It seems like this gives us the information, or gives me the information necessary to go ahead and debug a little bit more easily. 119. Yeah. So if I put this somewhere else, let's say in task. Boone says, so how do I put the data from a script into a uniform? Let me see here. You would pass the uniform. It's probably like set uniform or something directly on the shader. I'm looking it up now. Okay, so this is where this is talking about how to do it for a canvas item shader. So this isn't exactly what you're working with. You're working with a spatial shader, but basically it says you would add uniform as a not identifier, but basically kind of like a, I can't think of the word, but basically you would put that before the definition of the variable, so it would be an array of floats, and then you would pass it into the uniform. So here it's talking about how to do it from the editor, but then here you have where to set the parameter using code. So as you can see, they pass it directly in via the material. Yeah, material.set shader param, exactly. So that should be kind of a start. I'm not sure how many vertices you're passing in. If it's a large number, this might not be that effective. But you wouldn't need to pass it in but once. You would basically pass it in when the shader is compiled. Yeah, like you would pass it. You would set the uniform once, and then from that point, the fragment shader should control, or should yeah, well, you would pass it in once, and then the vertex shader would control the normal output, assuming that's what you're trying to modify. So it should be fast enough, or it'll be slow, but only when the game's first running, perhaps. All right, so I think I'm done. I think this is working. Right, so main project task 435. Boom. Excellent. All right, we're good. I'm out. my mind is a little melted right here. But this was fun. This was fun, and it's unfortunate I didn't get to really see too much of my efforts pay off, so to speak, in terms of productivity, but we did get some stuff done. We managed to finish up some work on backup. Some work on backups. We managed to fix... Wait. We managed to get the log redirecting, which is great. That took some time. But more than that, someone mentioned... Someone mentioned something that I wanted to fix. Oh, image PNG. Let me see if I can find it. There it goes. Okay, I'm going to copy this because this is something important. So basically, if an image is referenced in master plan, it has an extension in uppercase. It'll add an additional extension in lowercase. So let me go ahead and... Let me see if I can fix that real quick. So we got the task. Do I ever use extensions? I don't see anything where that is happening. Let's try a test. Okay, so this is the one that has, yeah, the capitalized GIF. Save it. And only when loading an existing project. Yeah, definitely crushed right there. I mean, like, it's not loading anything. But it loads this fine. But not this one. Huh. Let's see. Oh, it renames the file itself. Oh, that is no good. Why is it doing that? Whoa, okay. That's weird. Okay, let's see. When exactly does it actually do this? Okay. So it renames it right when it's loading the file. Okay, I don't think it's here. I think it might be in the project. No, it's not here. Rename. I don't remember how renaming works, or when I rename stuff. Let me see. So load resource, temp file, local, copy. Let's try something real quick. It is only when it's capitalized. Also happens to PNGs. So it probably happens, I would guess that it happens to any resource that's loaded. Oh, whoops, here it is. OS.rename, okay. If the extension is not equal to file.extension. That's it right there, whoops. Actually, that won't work. We need to rename this. But I think this is actually the problem. Is renaming it because .gif in all caps is not equal to .gif. Oh, well, hold on. Oh, it's supposed to be a function. There we go. Also, we have to... Yeah, I think it's just... Oh, Aspiring Ape says 1 a.m. this side and have work in a few hours. Wow. Thanks for the stream and discussion. Looking forward to the next one. Good night, all. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, get some sleep, definitely. Good night. Literally, good night. And this is the problem right here. .gif is capitalized. It's not the same as .gif underscore, and so they're not the same. We need to just normalize this. So we're just gonna say strings.toLower. is not equal to file type dot extension. Then we rename it. So I think that should work. Boondy says I've got to go. Bye for now. Thank you very much for stopping by as well, Boone. Always a capitalized. Always a pleasure to have people coming through in the chat. Well appreciated. Thank you very much. Now it works. Okay, so let's try to save it. Let's capitalize, load it. There we go. Now it's working. Not altered. There we go. Excellent. Oh, Boone says thank you for all the help. No problem. So we got that that bug fixed too. That's not a bug I would have found probably normally, because I never have files with capitalized extensions. So thank you very much for pointing it out, Xionotic, and yeah, thank you. So we managed to get a few things done this time around. That's good. That's good. And it's only been 2 hours and 17 minutes. I would keep going, but I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna commit this, but I'm also gonna move on to resting a little bit and then coming back to it in a little bit. Alan says, hello, long time no see. Hello, thank you very much for stopping in the stream there. What distro are you using? This is Solus, the Solus distribution of Linux. Nice, clean, modern, and solid. Yeah, fairly solid distribution. I like it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank you very much for coming through to the stream. Well appreciated. And definitely want to keep making stuff and keep working on master plan. And hopefully next time around, next stream, I'll be able to do more, because I wasn't planning to just work on this. I wanted to work on some other things as well, like I Know Who I Am and stuff like that. But unfortunately, this took a little bit more effort than I anticipated, as well as I mean, we got some stuff done, but I was a little bit tired, in a sense. Like being under the lights and in front of the camera and talking a lot, it kind of drains you a little bit. So anyway, I'm happy to have done what we did. All right, well, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon. I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time with another stream. Hopefully, probably this well, maybe not this Saturday because I have a few things going on Saturday, but maybe Tuesday. Maybe earlier next week, I'll be able to have another stream. I'll try to put out notice about it maybe a day in advance. That way people don't have to feel like blindsided by it or anything like that. So thank you very much once again, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side next time. See ya.